Handmaid's Tale, Season 4, Episode 9. Holy crap! Okay, sorry from the beginning. Um, June, okay, June finally got around to telling Luke exactly what happened to Hannah. That Hannah didn't recognize her. Of course, they cut to the scene in the kitchen where the conversation was over. They decided that June was going to go meet Nick and take Nicole, who is his daughter, biological daughter, and have like an exchange. Okay, so they go. Uh, June meets up with Nick. She takes Nicole. When Luke, what surprised me is that Luke was the one who suggested this. Luke was the one who told June to go meet Nick and take Nicole with her. That just seemed weird to me. That seemed like him giving up on his marriage. He knows maybe in his heart that June loves Nick. That maybe all this time apart, their marriage fell apart. Because the marriage takes work. You gotta be there. So it could be that Luke is realizing June, the marriage structure has changed. Will this last? Will they last as a married couple? I sure hope so. You know, it would be a fairy tale wedding. Luke, June, Hannah, and Nicole. And all of them went together. I don't see that happening. Wow. So June is gonna met with Nick. Nick gave her all the updated photos of what Hannah looks like now that she's safe. Before they met with Nick, they tried to make a patch through call with Commander Lawrence, the one who started this whole mess. He came up with the infrastructure for Gilead. And he was like, there's nothing more we can do over here. Just learn to be happy. You're free. Hannah's safe. And move on with your life. She can't. She's a mother. You don't just leave one of your children behind. That's when, after the meeting with Commander Lawrence failed, or the call with Commander Lawrence failed, that's when Luke suggests that June meet up with Nick. And that's when Nick gave her all the updated information about Hannah. As we all know, Janine, yes, Janine was recaptured and is at the red circle. Or, no, the red center, excuse me. And there's, of course, the new batches of girls coming in. And, of course, there's always going to be one or two rebels. But Janine seems to be a little sneaky. Okay? She's making herself valuable. What you do is that Janine was getting ready to be put out into service again, given a new post. But Janine doesn't want to go out into service again. I'm trying to be delicate with this, with my wording, because basically they're forced, never mind. They're forced to do stuff physically they don't want to do. But anyway, so there's a new handmaid. I think her name is Esther. It starts with an E, maybe Emily. Correct me down below if you already know. I think it's like, I'm like 90% sure her new name is Esther. But and Esther acted like Janine back all the way to season 1, the rebellion. The rebellious one, you're not going to make me do what I don't want to do kind of thing. So Janine got her to eat because she was on a starvation diet. I don't know why they call it starvation diet. Well, the first 3 words in diet is D-I-E. But anyway. So Janine got Esther to eat. And that impressed Aunt Lydia. But it didn't impress the 2 newer aunts that were there. who are trying to take over the reins, because they're like, the new characters try to take the reins from the old character so the old character could move on. But Lydia's not going to give up them reins, okay? She's very comfortable in the leadership position. So what Janine has done is, one, given Lydia an excuse to keep her at the Red Center instead of sending her out to post. Because, well, one, she did save the Putman's baby. Nobody was able to figure out why the baby was sick and not doing good, if not gaining weight, and just everything. It was horrible. But Janine went in there and I guess it's just the love of a mother. And the baby's doing fine, so they put that as a big value on Janine. Well, now she got this new handmaid who's having issues adjusting, and she's helping not only to adjust, but, let's get you to eat now. But, yeah, she's very, very honest with Esther that they're not going to stop. They're not going to let you die. You're too valuable alive. So one of two things I see happening with Janine. She is either going to play her hand to stay alive, or she could be positioning herself to be a new aunt. Yeah. I think they cracked her. I think she cracked up. She's like, if I can't get out, I might as well learn how to play the game. Because I think she feels abandoned by June. Which I don't see how I don't see personally how Janine could blame June for her being left behind. Because the blast, if you've seen, I think it was episode 7, that blast knocked everybody out and separated everybody. So I don't see how you can blame June for leaving Janine. But then again, Janine is feeling some sort of way. Like, you should have took me with you. Yeah, something's going on with Janine. We can agree with that. Something's going on with Janine. Worst case scenario, she becomes an auntie herself. That's the worst case scenario. Let's see, who else? So that's, oh my God. Oh God, okay. Gilead sended the Putnams to go visit with the Waterfords, who are being held in the Canadian jail. And they made it clear, long story short, that if the commander can't get out of jail and Serena returns to Gilead as a single mother, that there's a chance that Serena may be separated from the baby. Because in Gilead, single motherhood is not acceptable. The only acceptable home is a mother and a father, and they gotta be married. That's the only acceptable home. It doesn't matter that your husband died or that your husband's been incarcerated for whatever reason. In Gilead, you're a single mom? You don't get to keep your child. And if you're fertile, you're going to go to the Red Center. So that means that if Serena gets released, she would have gotten released, and Fred stood incarcerated, and Serena went back to Gilead with the baby that she's pregnant with currently, that she most likely will end up either in the colony or as a handmaid herself, and her child will be raised by someone else. Because that's the rules. Okay, in a nutshell, Gilead is Christianity taken to the extreme. I mean, 100% by the Bible. Literal law. You see, we talked about this before. There's literal law, and there's the meaning. You know, then there's difference. There's a meaning of the law and the letter of the law. And what Gilead done is taking the letter of the law and taking that to extreme. Because you're not supposed to separate moms and babies. Oh, that's a whole other episode. But anyway, so that's what's been going on with the Waterford. They did send the Putnams to influence them and let Serena know that her baby is actually property of Gilead. You know, kind of like in North Korea, the citizens actually property of the state. You don't have a baby for you as your family. You have the baby for the state. And if you ever read into North Korean law, oh dear God, it'll spin your head. Anyway, I'll veer off course. So to protect Serena and Fred decided to flip on Gilead. You know what that means? That means the rape charges from June, all that testimony that she did, for nothing now. So she gets in front of the court. She bears it all. Her husband has to listen to her go through the torment. She had to relive the torment. And then when Fred Waterford flips on Gilead, he then gets to go free. Why does that sound like what goes on nowadays? You know, everyone gets screwed, including the victim. But anyway, so that's episode 9 of season 4. The Waterfords flipped on Gilead. June got to see updated pictures of Hannah. And Janine probably is working towards being an auntie herself. I hope not. I hope not. That's just why I'm concluding with Janine. Janine's being a whole kettle of fish all by herself. So, that is today's episode. I hope you enjoyed it and I brought you up to speed. So, how should I say? So, let's see. I don't know how to end this, so I'm just going to end it by, let's see. How did they do that? Something about fruit and may he open. What is that? Ah, yes. I remember now. Blessed be the fruit. May he open. Well, we see you next week. I'll keep you updated. Bye-bye.